I always like to recall to my colleagues something I've said to you before. At the beginning of our country, Thomas Jefferson, he tasked the Secretary of the Treasury at the time, Gallatin, to initiate a Gallatin project, which was to build into America. America was expanding, Lewis and Clark expedition, Louisiana Purchase, and the rest. And President Jefferson tasked Gallatin to build infrastructure, Cumberland Road, Erie Canal, all kinds of projects like that, big. 100 years later, the presidency of Teddy Roosevelt, and in the centennial of the original infrastructure plan, Teddy Roosevelt put forth his infrastructure plan. It was called the National Park Service. Again, thinking big, transformational, making a difference for our country. And now, in this century, President Biden is undertaking something in the tradition of thinking big, being transformational, and creating jobs for America. It is quite remarkable, the comprehensive nature of what he put forward. We can talk about that in its specifics as we go along, but I'm very happy to see that as we build the infrastructure, we're also recognizing the need for the human infrastructure to be enhanced, whether it's a workforce development, whether it's recognizing that for everyone to be taken along this path, that we have to have childcare, home health care, whatever. It's really quite a remarkable and comprehensive plan. And when it comes to infrastructure, I always say to our chairman, Peter DeFazio, the chair of one of the committees of jurisdiction, transportation and infrastructure, our hopes are riding on you. It's about jobs. It's about the jobs in building the infrastructure. It's about the jobs that are created by promoting commerce, good paying jobs. But we need people to be ready for them. And that's what this package that the president put forth does. It makes bold investments in broadband, investing in long neglected areas of infrastructure, whether we're talking about clean water, getting the lead out, building schools, the issues relating to childcare, as I mentioned, seniors' long-term care, veterans facilities, the list goes on. And again, more to come in the next package. But right now, what the president is doing is creating communities of color and rural communities, giving more opportunity there. So in my time in Congress, for most of the time, infrastructure was never a partisan issue. Only when President Obama was president, the Republicans insisted on a much smaller infrastructure package. But in the past, we had always been able to work in a bipartisan way because it was about a four-letter word: jobs, 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 good paying jobs, investing in workers, and turbocharging our global competitiveness. And to do so in a way that is resilient and that is in some ways green. I know that word sometimes frightens people, but the fact is that it's about working together to save our planet, to be clean air, clean water for our children. It's a health issue. It's about competitiveness, good paying, to be competitive in establishing good paying green jobs, competitive in that market globally. It's about security in terms of what we do. I did talk about President Jefferson. I talked about Thomas Jefferson. I talked about President Teddy Roosevelt. And when I mentioned security, remember, you don't remember, read the history books, President Eisenhower, when he was president, he put forth another transformational large infrastructure initiative called the Interstate Highway System. And he based it on the national security of our country so that we would be united as a country, and that is a security issue. Actually, Al Gore's father, then a senator from Tennessee, had initiated that legislation. So it was bipartisan at that time. Hopefully it'll be bipartisan again. So we're very excited about what he did. And as I said to some of my colleagues on a call yesterday, a bipartisan call with the administration, that infrastructure is renewal. So it's good that we're talking about in the season of renewal. At the same time, we're still very much insistent that everyone understand what is in the rescue package and how they can readily avail themselves of the benefits. Sometimes people just don't know how if they qualify for a low income tax credit or a child tax credit that is refundable. And so next week we are having a teach-in. Members have had great opportunities in their districts already to do some kind of spreading of the information. And that is part of what we will take advantage of as we put forth more information and how community groups can be helpful in making sure that everyone who is eligible for a benefit knows that. So again, at the time when we passed it, we said it's about vaccinations in the arms, it's about money in the pockets, it's about children safely in the schools, it's about people safely back to work. But in order for that to happen, there are many provisions in the bill that relate to childcare and the rest that we want to make sure people know how to avail themselves of it. So we're very excited about that. As you know, more than 100 million vaccines have already taken place, have doses in the first 100 days. The president said 100 doses in the first 100 days. It'll be closer to 200 million doses in the first 100 days. By April 19th, 90% of adults will be eligible for the vaccine and have access within 5 miles of their homes, and that is important. And on the economic front, well over 100 million checks have been distributed and more on the way. I'm very proud of the fact, because I feel so proprietary about the Affordable Care Act, that under the rescue plan, new ACA benefits will now be available, which will dramatically lower healthcare costs for millions of more people. And so again, the president has extended the enrollment period and the rest. This is, again, people have to know. How many times have you heard me say, President Lincoln said, public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish almost anything. Without it, practically nothing. But in order for public sentiment to prevail, people have to know. And that is what we are engaged in, making sure people know what their opportunity is. And again, I repeat, next Wednesday, April 7th, we'll be holding our teach-in as part of our day of action to lift up how the package saves lives and livelihoods in our communities. I'm so proud of House Democrats for the courage that they have had to go forward with the COVID package. And now that was rescue. This is now into recovery, about jobs, 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 jobs. And again, the president said in the campaign, help is on the way. Now we can proudly say, help is here. And by the way, more to come.
Hey guys, did you know we have a podcast called WJ Live?
The Western Journal's mission is to equip readers with the truth, and that's the same mission we have on WJ Live.
You'll hear from writers, editors, and special guests on the most important topics of the day.
You can watch us every day at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on youtube.com/WJ Live.
While you're there, help us out by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. See you there.